you have to take personal responsibility to take yourself from your bad situation to your next situation.
Why do you look at life a little bit as fighting? You said that. I didn't say that. You said that.
Yeah, because
You could have picked ballerina.
I should have been a ballerina. Yeah, my feet can't handle it though.
That's also painful.
The average ballerina is stronger than the average football player. Did you know that? Pound for pound, they're stronger than a football player. They jump on their toes.
All day.
They're super strong. We digressed, right?
Yes.
I think going back to trauma, right? You had a trauma. I had to fight through the trauma. You can give up when people give up when they have a trauma, right? Just they give up. They get on medication. Something happens. They sit at home. They stay in bed. I had financial trauma. I almost lost everything I had. I could have stayed in bed. I could have stayed in bed.
What would you trade?
Stocks, options, futures. There was something at the time called married puts, where you'd buy a stock, buy an option at the same time so you can short the stock. There was a lot going on at the time.
So I'm sure you've lost a fair share of money doing
absolutely.
that.
Oh, absolutely. I've
I've
taken some beatings.
I want to know how you've traversed that. I want to know how you traversed that, because I like to delve into where things break.
Yeah.
Because I find that where things break, you get to figure out who you are. It's a stress test. And a lot of Instagram, social media, Facebook discusses what you should do when everything is great,
Yes.
or how to optimize.
Correct.
But optimization when you're down is very different
Correct.
than optimizing when you are up. So I want to know specifically how you traverse that terrain when things were not so special.
Right.
And you've lost money. So I want you to take a second and look at that.
You're right. On social media, everyone's life is perfect. It's great. It's all the guy with the sunglasses and the Ferrari,
The 8-pack abs.
The 8-pack abs. I don't have those, right? No, but you have to.
What did you do when you lost money? Tell me about the scenario. Go in there. Tell me about a trade you lost a lot of money on. You were super pissed.
This is a great one. So, let's bring it back. I got PTSD now. So this was the day after Thanksgiving.
That Friday.
It was 20 some odd years ago. I was short a stock called Books. I'll never forget it. Called Books A Million. BAMM. BAM. Right? I was short the stock and it just kept going up and up. And I was getting a massage. I was like, I'm getting a massage this morning. It was Friday morning after Thanksgiving. I remember, and kept going up and up and up and up. At the same time, and I covered it, I think, at the very high of when the stock traded. Like I probably lost all that money, and it was stressful watching going up and up and up. But the minute I covered it, I just felt better. I was out of the problem. Even though I lost a bunch of money, for me.
How much is a bunch of money?
That day was a lot of money for me at the time. It was north of $50,000 that day, which was a boatload of money.
What year is that?
I would have to look it up. More
70s,
than 20 years
80s,
ago. No,
90s?
20 whatever years ago. We probably could look it up
2000s.
2000. There was another one. It was a stupid stock that I was short. And I used to short stocks, so I couldn't take these high valuations. And it took, gold out of tar sands. It was a big scam. It was a complete scam. It was some real scam stock. And I had the same problem. I was short it and it went up, and I was short it and went up. And I covered it literally, I probably top ticked it of all time. Like I probably covered the high of all time and a crater thereafter. And I lost my money, probably north of 50,000 at that time. And I lost my money.
When you say your money, you mean the firm's money or your money?
It was my personal money. I lost the money.
How'd you feel?
Not great. I mean, not great. It was a boatload of money at the time. It was a lot. It's a lot of money today. I don't want to lose $50,000 tomorrow.
Of course.
A lot of money.
So how did you?
Some people are too flippant about money. Oh, it's only $50,000. No, it's money. You have to. You need a certain fight in you to make it through to the next day. You need a certain amount of resilience. You need a certain amount of hope.
How do you find that?
You got to find it.
How do you find that?
You have to find it. It's hard.
How do you find that when you're fucking lost?
You have to dig in deep, and you have to realize you're not the only one in a challenge. You have to just you could adapt or die. That's essentially what it is. It's essentially
adapt or
die. You have to figure it out. You can't just lay back and go, "Woe is me. What do I do?" You have to speak to smart people. You have to take advice from good friends. You have to hope. You have to pray a little bit, not to be too rabbinical. You have to just know there's going to be a better day and recognize what you might have done wrong. You're your own worst enemy. That's it. If you can't, in your mind, figure out what you did wrong and blame yourself for your problems, you can't blame somebody else. It's your fault. If something's gone wrong, if you didn't look at that trade right, if you didn't make the right investment, if you didn't get out soon enough, it's your fault. Your friend could have told you something else, but you have to take personal responsibility to take yourself from your bad situation to your next situation.
Putting yourself mentally in taking responsibility and facing the abyss. How do you draw the line? What did you do when you lost that $50,000 and you dug deep? How did you do that?
Yeah. Great question. Hard to remember specifically, but I just had to figure out what I did wrong and how am I going to make the money back. The thing I didn't want to do is I didn't want to take another big risk and try to make more money back. I wanted to try to make money back in small baby steps. And I did. I started making a couple of $1,000s. I took a couple of $1,000s. I did not take the risk that I could have taken because I just got burned pretty badly losing that money. And there were other losses as the years went on that got bigger. But that was the initial going where I was like, I can't lose this money. And I lost the money, right? And it wasn't good. But I really do believe people have to take a look at themselves. Like I said just a minute ago, you are your own worst enemy. Nobody can do more damage to you than you can do to yourself. And you must take personal responsibility and figure out what it is that you did wrong. I know what I did wrong. I took too much risk. I didn't get out quickly enough. I relied on other people. Not a good way to do things.
So let's talk about, the self, okay? Does the self have a hero?
I don't have a hero per se. I think my father was a big influence on my life. So was he my hero? Potentially. I think the everyday soldier that goes out there to combat is really the hero. You're like,
That's the persona.
That's the persona. They're quiet heroes. I think the everyday fireman, the everyday cop is the hero in life. They do things most people wouldn't do. I don't know that I have a special hero of my own, but there are people that are the unsung quiet heroes that do things you don't know about or that people won't do. Like I said, like the cop, fireman, the soldier. And they're remarkable people. I look up to those kind of people.
Why do you look at life a little bit as fighting? You said that. I didn't say that. You said that.
Yeah, because
you could have picked ballerina.
I should have been a ballerina. Yeah, my feet can't handle it though.
That's also painful.
The average ballerina is stronger than the average football player. Did you know that? Pound for pound, they're stronger than a football player. They jump on their toes.
All day.
They're super strong. We digressed, right?
Yes.
I think going back to trauma, right? You had a trauma. I had to fight through the trauma. You can give up when people give up when they have a trauma, right? Just they give up. They get on medication. Something happens. They sit at home. They stay in bed. I had financial trauma. I almost lost everything I had. I could have stayed in bed.
When was that time and how did you traverse that?
So my mid 40s, I had challenging business. I couldn't find deals to do. Couldn't make a living.
Are you still a trader?
No, I'm in real estate now.
Wait.
In real estate.
How did you transition?
So what happened from the stock market was I had a very good commission business as an executing broker and a very good trading business for my own account. The executing broker business sort of dwindled dramatically over a couple of years.
Why?
Commission rates shrunk. Used to be commission rates were 6 to 10 cents a share. They had a great business. Then he went to 4 to 5 cents a share, also great business. Then he went to 1 to 2 cents a share, and it changed. And the volume did not.
This reminds me of Wolf of Wall Street when he came. He's like, "You get 50% commission.
Right.
You get 50%."
But that's different. They would sell like a $5 stock, which was worth $1, and keep the $4, right? And then they would split $2 in the house. But this was if a guy bought 100,000 shares of stock, it was 10 cents, $10,000. That's what it was right at the time. The 10,000 became 1,000.
So it was because of you not earning enough or as much as you'd like?
As much as I was, my income shrunk a significant amount because the volume of transactions, they didn't keep up with the rates that declined on the commissions.
And why was that? Is it because of regulatory
market issues?
Just market issues.
The market changed.
So something was in your head, and you're like, I got to change it.
I had to change it. So I said, what do I do? I'm not really sure. I was trading my own account, and I kept losing more money because I had that commission business that was really good that kept the income coming in. So at that point in time, if I lost 20 grand that day, it didn't matter so much. I had a really big. I mean, I didn't like it for sure,
of course,
but I could absorb it because I had the income. Coming in from the from the brokerage business. So,
Right.
if I had a good month trading, it was great. If I had a bad month trading, okay, it wasn't so bad because we had other income coming in, which is fine. But the income stopped, and then my mind started worrying about money all the time. And when you worry about money, you can't trade. It doesn't work. All you do is lose because you're not thinking about the proper execution. You're thinking about, can I pay the mortgage next week? Can I buy food next week?
So short-term thinking.
Once you start thinking about what the money does for you, as opposed to the trade, it becomes problematic. Example, you have a camera shop, let's say, and you sell 3 cameras, but a guy returns 1. You probably don't think of it as, oh, I lost money on the camera.
Right.
But if you have 3 stocks and you lose on 1, you're turning it. A bad trader will turn that into, oh, I just lost money. But it's a natural thing to lose money. It's natural. So I started losing too much money, and I had to figure out what to do before I lost it all.
Was there a change of heart in the way you were doing business? Was there a change of acumen? Was it change?
It's just the market change. Everything, the commission shrunk, the volume. At that moment in time, everything just changed, and I couldn't adapt quick enough. Someone gave me a book, actually. It was called Who Moved My Cheese? And it's about the rats that go through the mazes,
Right.
and they try to figure out, where's my cheese, right? So I don't remember the exact book, but I remember the title for some reason all of a sudden now because we're talking. But I had to figure out what to do with my life. And at that point, I realized I might need a job. I never really had a formal job in a corporate environment.
You don't consider being on Wall Street trading all day a corporate job?
No, it was entrepreneurial. I mean, early on, we had to.
Why do you keep saying entrepreneurial?
Because if you wanted to show up at 9 o'clock in the morning, you'd have one set of success. If you wanted to be there 8 o'clock at night, you have another set of success.
So there was an unstated freedom.
There was an unstated freedom. You could walk in 9 o'clock. If you walked in 7 o'clock, you had 2 hours advantage. You could leave 4:30 in the afternoon, but if you stayed till 8 o'clock at night, reviewing trades, reviewing charts, calling clients, you had a different advantage, right? So I would put in 12, 14 hours a day. Some people put in 7 hours a day, 6 hours a day.
It was taxing on your head, though, right?
Very taxing. Very taxing.
Your neural framework was kind of framed in a very specific way.
It was framed to make money for my family. That's what it was framed for.
And you did that well.
I did well for a while. Then it didn't work out so well. So Wall Street ended. I said, what do I do with myself? I tried a few things. Let me try to broker businesses. Let me try to do when I started to focus just on real estate, but I had to get a job. And they realized I had to get a job. So I got a job. I got fired from it a year later. Another adversary.
Why?
They downsized. They didn't need people in the real estate business.
Where'd you get a job?
I was at Israel Discount Bank, great bank, IDB Bank, great little bank. Started running the real estate. The world changed for them. First in, first out. I had to go. I moved on. I bounced around trying to figure out what to do. It was when you're in your 40s, and maybe someone out there is listening right now going through this, maybe, when you're 40s and you have a couple of children and a wife, the bills don't stop. Your income stops, but the bills don't stop. So you have to build a mental resilience and a toughness that allow you to figure out what to do. And I just had to do it. I say it again, I could have sat home and cried about it. I could have sat home and say, woe is me. But all I did was I went to talk to smart people. What are you doing? What can I do? What am I doing? The best advice I got from somebody is a really dear friend of mine when I was with him and I was talking too much. And he said to me, Elliot, just shut up and stop talking. Sometimes you have to stop talking. He was a really good friend of mine. He said actually stronger words than that. I don't want to say it now. And I was really taken aback by that. But it was really good advice he gave me. I had to listen and not talk so much. So learning from other people what they have gone through and learning what maybe I'm doing wrong. You have to accept the fact you're doing certain things wrong.
So you're building, throughout your life, you're building elasticity in a way that you can stretch and bend your mind to say, okay, this is not the end.
Not the end. People have it worse. It's not the end. No one's shooting at me. I'm not a hostage in a tunnel, right? I'm just a guy trying to figure it out. And every guy or every gal, for that matter, trying to figure it out always thinks they're the only one that they're going through it, and you're not. So I had to figure out. And it was a long process, but eventually, and I had the job at the bank, and I had to get let go, no problem. Eventually, I said to myself, you know what? I know a lot of people in real estate. I know not a lot. I learned some stuff at the bank, which was great because I learned a lot about.
What was your position?
I was a loan originator, and
why did you do that?
Because I knew a lot of people. They knew I knew a lot of people in the real estate business, so I brought in loans.
So you took your book of contacts.
Book of contacts, correct. I've been blessed with knowing a lot of really good people in my life. That's really a blessing. Good friends, good family, good investors, good partners. I've really been blessed with that. So I took that and I said, you know what? I know a lot of people who are in the real estate business. I have a little bit of background in real estate, but not a lot at this point. I know a lot of people who have a lot of money. Let me figure out what to do with that. And I did. And that's the start of my next career, which was the real estate business.
As a
Not a broker, even though I was a broker for a little bit, but that didn't work out too because I wasn't totally focused on it. At the time, there was no wording to it. I just wanted to put deals together, raise money for people that needed equity for their transactions. That actually became a direct investment business where I control the investments more. But at that time, I just knew people had deals and needed money. I knew people who had money and needed honest people to invest with.
that's scary.
It is scary because you don't want to lose people's money. That's correct. It is scary.
But how did you do that?
I had to recognize I had to work even harder, right, and take more personal responsibility to figure out which people can we invest with, which investors can I put with which people, because not every investor has a risk tolerance for this investment or that investment.
Right.
So it was a process of figuring out which investors, because I knew I had a lot of people who had a lot of money and a lot of people did the real estate business, but I had to figure out which peg fit into which hole. And I did.
Interesting. So you got into the real estate business. You also stated just a few minutes ago that you went through another financial trauma. Was that tied to the real estate business?
Tied to real estate business. So when I tried to start the real estate business up, it took a long time to make money.
How long is a long time?
A couple of years till I started turning real money. And I was draining my bank account every month. I love saying this out loud, every month, because everyone thinks the world's perfect. Draining my bank, borrowing money every month.
On interest.
Every month.
Credit cards on interest.
I was the king of credit card borrowing, the king, right? But
So-
credit cards,
so you
home equity, everything
You were
was on.
fucking all in.
I was. Oh, I can curse. I know. You didn't tell me I could curse here. Well, you never told me I could curse. I'm trying to be like this.
Little bit.
All right, come on. No,
Confronting the impossible takes a lot.
I was all in.